Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer. Today we have the Let's Go Aero Jacket Pro. This is going to be a V-tray 2 bike rack that installs onto the jack of your A-frame trailers. There's a bunch of accessories that can also be used with this specific base, so we'll take a look at some of the different features right here at etrailer. This is a unique design, not usually something you'd think of when you need to carry around your bikes. However, your other options usually are putting your bikes on your roof, in your truck bed, or on a hitch of your trailer. And when those options aren't an option, then that's where this one comes in handy. Since this installs onto your A-frame trailer over your jack, this makes it a bit more visible from your truck when towing and also utilizes an unused space. But the first question is, will it even fit with your trailer? You'll also have to consider if you have access to the different functions of your jack, whether it's the buttons or the lights. If your jack happens to have a larger housing, well, the spacing between our frame here is going to be 7 inches and 1/4 of an inch. If you are familiar with the Let's Go Aero jacket, the Jacket Pro, which is what we have here, is their modular and upgraded version. That's because this has 1, 2, and 3 slots. So you get the base version, which is the one that comes with the V-tray rack, but then you can add other accessories to it. Some examples are going to be like the tablet, the stack it. If you want to carry more bikes, those are worth looking into here at etrailer. Each of those accessories for those slots utilize a twin spin feature. What does that mean? Well, the way these accessories, including the bike rack, fit into the slots is that they are rounded, so that when you remove the bolt, you are able to rotate or spin the entire system. And with this being a twin spin, the top part can rotate too, just to give you the best access for either having this on your trailer or making it easier to load and unload your bikes and cargo. So to show off the twin spin, if you needed to access your other bike, you can flip it around. Let's say you're carrying or towing with a vehicle that has a tall hatch and you needed this closer to the camper, we can rotate both sides to give us the best clearance, just like that. And once you've found the configuration that works best for you, you have these 2 bolts, and these will secure your racks. Both bolts can be locked as well. You get 2 locks with this, and the top one is easy to secure with just a turn of a key. But for most of the trailers we've worked with, we've found that most of them have propane tank covers that make it where you can't put the lock on there. So if that's the case for you, just put a clip through. If your propane tanks are open to the environment, though, you'll be able to put that lock and secure it. There is an included cable lock that can be used to wrap around your bikes, and then it goes into itself, and then the end you put onto the bolt before you put the lock onto it. Now, this is a nice little additional option. However, I honestly don't use this very often because the cable itself is on the shorter side. It's ideal to take the cable off before you start traveling because that's an extra cable that rubs up against your bike's finish. And the second reason is since I can't use both bolts because I am covered by the tank cover, having a more easily accessible cable lock like the etrailer one, which is longer and has a solid key, is preferable to using this. While this can carry 2 bikes, you also have to think about what type of bikes can you carry with this rack. So you do have a maximum weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. This is technically a wheel-mounted rack where it holds the bikes up by the front and the rear wheels, but the way it does it is a little bit different compared to other wheel mount racks you might see. This holds your tires up with cradles that hold up to the upper rims of your tires and the lower tread. Now, this is a hook that goes around with a strap that tightens down, giving you that support all throughout your wheel. Now, if you're planning on carrying kids' bikes with this carrier, make sure that the wheels are at least 22 inches large for them to fit. There are multiple bolts throughout the Jacket Pro, and that is to make sure that you have as stable of an experience as possible. Some other versions of this bike rack have a pin while the Jacket Pro has a threaded bolt to keep your wings in place. That combined with the bolts throughout the rack, as long as you keep things tightened down, you're good on the road. A brief overview of how this will install around your jack. The frame is going to install underneath your electric jack, but above your trailer coupler. It's going to include 3 bolts, and I use a 14mm wrench in order to tighten those bolts down. This is going to fit your 3-bolt standard pattern that you will see on most A-frame trailers. If you're comparing it with other Let's Go Aero jacket products, I did mention that the Pro is going to be your modular version, but your other versions that you will see are going to be the Jacket Plus as well as the Jacket Twin Spin. So the Twin Spin is going to have a single slot, but it spins around like what we see here. The Jacket Plus is going to have also a single slot, but it's going to be a square tube and gives you more of a fixed experience. So if you like ease of use and more adjustability, I say go ahead with the Twin Spin or the Pro. And having the Pro allows you to carry around other accessories like more bikes and even your different cargo trays. The Let's Go Aero Jacket series is definitely a unique solution to a unique situation. Compared to other options, this is going to be one of the only ones that will let you carry cargo and bikes on top of your jack on your A-frame trailers. So the perks are that your cargo and your bikes will be more visible from your truck, not as hidden. The downside is that there's a lot more things you have to consider to make sure that this will work and fit your situation. So hopefully this video helped you out with seeing if it will fit on your trailer, if it will fit on your jack, as well as if your bikes will fit on this rack. This does also have an overall payload of up to 180 pounds. So if you're trying to decide if you want something that can also be used to carry your generator, can also be used with your camp kitchen stove, or can be used with your bikes, that's something worth considering too. After installing multiple Let's Go Aero products, I've learned some tips and tricks that make things a lot easier to get things put together. So the first thing I've learned is to set your cradles while your bike is on the ground. I'm currently using the home base storage base, and this is a wheeled base that I can attach the arms to. Great for if you have your bike stored in your garage during the off season. I highly recommend getting this added on to your order. The next thing I do is I grab the legs and I put them up against the bike to see where everything needs to go. You make the adjustments by pulling the clips and then moving the pins up and down on the different slots. This is where your front wheels go. You also move the rubber pads to wherever the bike rack might potentially make contact with your bike. And then you also adjust the cradles by loosening the knobs and sliding these up and down. I keep the bottom cradles off until the bike is loaded. The wings then attach to your base on your trailer by fitting the wings through and securing them with the threaded eye bolt. There's a little nut there you can use to tighten it down. What I use is a long-handled item like a screwdriver or a wrench, and that's what I use to turn this eye bolt until it's tight and flat against the rack. We got our first bike on, and I'll show you how to get the second bike on, but the perks of this being able to spin around is you can load the first one from the front and then pivot the rack around to get the second one on, and then you're not maneuvering around the tank or your camper. While I was able to load the Jacket Original, the Jacket Plus is going to be significantly taller, so not quite something I'll be able to reach. This might be an issue for you and your trailer, so I do recommend grabbing a step stool or a taller friend to help you out with getting this loaded. You're going to want the front wheels up on the cradles first, and then that way you can maneuver around the handlebars or the seat post of the other bike and get the second cradle on. When loading 2 bikes on, please make sure that your chains and your gears are facing out. Now before you tighten down the straps, I like to put the bolts back in just so that our rack doesn't start swinging on us. Secure your bottom cradles by inserting the peg into the bracket and putting a clip on the end. Now, sometimes with different bikes, you might find that you can't get both bottom pegs fully up against the bottom wheel. So if that happens, the most important one is the peg for the front wheel. The rear wheel can get away with a little bit more space between the peg and the tire. You get the strap over the rim and into the tab, trying to get it as tight as possible. Once both bikes are secured, then that's gonna be it for your setup. Now from here, you can either keep it in the outward position, pivot it back to the camper, whichever makes more sense with your towing setup. All those different accessories are available here at eTrailer. I definitely recommend checking them out. We have fun product description pages, pictures, and videos if you want more information on them. But today, what we saw was the Let's Go Aero Jacket Pro, a 2-bike modular carrier that goes on to your A-frame trailers at etrailer.com.